Hey everyone, and welcome to part 2 of the review of the Death Star. Now, this part, of course, previous episode, I just took a look at the main figures. Now, we're going to take a look at the build, and just purely on the build, it's not anymore the main figures, and then we'll have my final thoughts at the end. Now, this isn't going to be an in-depth review, because I don't want it to be too long, but I will definitely try my best to take a look at all the rooms and all the important features of the set. So, let's get started. So I'm going to start off with the top level, and might as well start off with this part right here, which is the little gun areas. Now there's a feature right here which you can kind of see. It's below the Emperor's throne room, which of course we will take a look at in a bit. Now you just move this part right here, and it will move both of these cannon builds, which look pretty nice, and they are identical, pretty much the exact same. You also have this little part at the side which you move up and down, and you can like adjust the level of the guns, which these are pretty cool. I mean, this isn't the most accurate placement of it. They're more on the trench side, but this is still a nice inclusion, which these are the same builds, just so you know that. And these look pretty nice, and they just go on these little Technic pins. And moving on to the next room, this is the, I guess, meeting area, which you can see there is spots for minifigures to put. Unfortunately, you don't get that many officer minifigures. You get at least 3, and I wish included more. Like they always do that with Lego Star Wars sets, where they put more spaces for minifigures and less minifigures, which I wish you could sort of complete. And underneath, there's just this table cover right here, which isn't really attached to any stuff. It just stays there, and you see I just put some blasters in there, but you can put anything you want. Like, it's not on studs and anything. And they have these regular chair pieces which can spin. They also have these other cylinder pieces on both ends for, I guess, decoration details. And yeah, there are spots to put a lot of minifigures. There are also these little frames right here. And you can see that there's an elevator area which we will take a look at, just like in the next room, which you can see goes on a Lego string, and I absolutely hate Lego strings. They're such a pain to do, but you can put a minifigure in there. It's just kind of hard. Second to last room, there is this area right here where there's this little area, like a targeting area, which you get 2 of these, but this one's a bit special because this one right here, this little station right there, actually moves the super laser left and right, and this knob right here makes it move up and down, so you can adjust the super laser, which we'll take a look at that in a bit. And that's actually a pretty cool feature, which I really like. It's just attached on that part, so you can't really put a minifigure there. It just looks kind of, I don't know, it just looks kind of weird. But this part doesn't connect to anything. It's just a regular spot for 1 minifigure, or actually maybe even 2 minifigures, which looks pretty nice. You can spin 360 degrees. And at this part right here, there is a little targeting part right there, which you can remove. And this has like a sticker of Alderaan, and I dropped Han Solo. Okay, and yeah, flipping the sticker, you also have this little targeting calculations, and you can just slide that in, which you can move this up and down, and you can see looks really nice. And you also have this other part which has a sticker of Alderaan on it. Second to the last room, we have this little, I guess shop or workshop area sort of build. Which looks quite nice. You can see this is the area that holds the elevator, where you can move it up and down, which is pretty long. You can take it through all levels of the Death Star, which goes on a Lego string. Right next to that is this little basket right here, and this part right here, which is like a stretcher kind of build, which this part right here uses to move the TIE Fighter, which we'll take a look at in a bit. And then they also have this little cart right there, and then this table with a magnifying glass with a swiveling chair, a tool rack, and then this other rack for the helmets. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the this first floor. Alright, so now moving on to the second floor. First part, we have the Emperor's throne room section, which looks pretty nice. Now, we did get this as an actual Lego set, which you can see. There is this little platform right here where you can actually have a play feature to knock it over, kind of like how in Return of the Jedi, which that looked quite nice. You can see Darth Vader's there and the other minifigures, and you can take those minifigures out And you can see some other details, like they also have these canisters right here, stairs as well, which also quite nice, and these little parts which are on both sides, as well as the Emperor's swiveling chair. And below that, or sorry, above that, you have that little play feature which you already took a look at, which that looks quite nice, as well as an entrance to that elevator which I showed to you earlier, which you can see. If I lower that, you'll be able to see that. And some other missable details, we have these little two canisters right here, as well as a hole, two holes actually, which is perfect for the Emperor, where you throw him down the reactor shaft and it will go through this other floor, which we'll take a look at in a bit. And then we have this little hangar area, which you guys could probably see from the top floor. Like I said, this part right here is the one that actually moves Vader's TIE Advanced. So you can adjust that area. And the TIE Advanced is a complete separate build, which is pretty small. We'll take a look at that in a bit. And you can see it just goes on this little frame. And there are these little parts right here, like a walkway, as well as three empty boxes and stickers, which that window is actually from the Emperor's throne room. So that looks nice. And once again, you have access to the elevator. And now here's the build for Vader's TIE Advance, which I said we'll take a look at. Here you go. Just pretty nice and pretty small, very compact. There's a spot for you to put Darth Vader in here, or just any minifigure. It's pretty tight, but you can fit them. And this sort of reminds me of a microfighter, which is pretty cute. And they also have these wings, which are identical. They do connect on the little Technic pins on the side there. And not much else going on here. We have these studs, which are represented as for blasters. You can see no control panel in there at all. And yeah, that's pretty simple build, pretty simple design, which I really like the look of. There's also this little elevator area, which just goes on this crank right there, which once again, another Lego string. And yeah, you can put a minifigure on there. As well as this part, there's a door, and here there's also a control panel. And that door is on this little gear part where you could move the door open like that. As well as that super laser, which you can see just a whole Technic feature on it. And there's also this part right there where you have the control panels on the window, and you can see a bunch of minifigures, or sorry, not minifigures, what am I saying? The super laser part, which looks super cool. I really like that design of it. It's very repetitive though. Here there's some spots for minifigures, as well as some containers. Next room is that prison cell, which there's a control area filled with these panels, and just put an officer there. And then there's also this probe droid build. And then there's also this part right here, which looks pretty cool, which is a camera. And then this is hallway, which there are two areas right here. So this part leads to the trash compactor, and then this other part leads to the prison, the holding cell of Leia, which is up and down. And to get the minifigure out, you can also pull this part right there. And unfortunately, there's no roof, so it just looks kind of off right there. And moving on to the bottom, there's this part right here, which is the tractor beam area, which there is this little part right here, which we'll show you in a bit. And you can see that there's a play feature where you pull this, and then the little tractor beam area here just goes off. And the other ones are just, you don't really do anything, and you can't put that back in like that. You raise it, and you put it back on. Then there's trash compactor area, which there's a feature right here where you push that, and you can actually open and close that area, just like in the movie. And there's filled with trash down there, and even a Dianoga build, which is right at the bottom, which you can see looks pretty cool. And I just have some minifigures there, and you can see that there's a door, which if you pull that, it'll open the door leading to that elevator. And then there's also this gunnery station, which looks pretty cool. And there are spots for two minifigures, which is a Death Star, which are the Death Star gunners. On the side, you have some spring-loaded shooters, as well as that crank, which we took a look at earlier. And then you can actually remove this because it's a very simple connection. And you can see the build looks pretty elaborate. You can move that, and you can also see that there are spring-loaded shooters. So you press these parts right here, and it will go flying, which you can see that looks quite nice. Yikes, that was so annoying. I hate that noise. But this is the elevator area, which you can see, or not, yeah, this mini elevator area, which once again, the crank, you can move that to go up. There's also this little crane build, which is spot for a minifigure. You can move those little claws right there. And there's a ladder going to the next room. There's also a weapon rack and another entrance to the elevator going there. And then there's also a ladder right here, which I'll show you right there. You can put minifigures on there. And then we move on to the biggest part, which is the part where Luke swings across, which just goes on that little string attached to the roof right there. And then you have these parts right there, and you can swing the minifigure. That looks quite nice. And there are these bars right here, like barriers. And this is actually leads to the tractor beam section. And then there's some more floors, which once again is connected to that area right there, and another area for the elevator. And the bottom part doesn't really have anything going on in there. There are a few like canisters and such, but you can't really get much minifigures in there, and there's not really much else to see down there. So yeah, that's actually pretty much it for the build of the Death Star. Once again, this is just a quick review. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it for this quick review, and I really hope you guys enjoyed the video of me reviewing the Death Star, which is such an amazing Lego set. So go check out part 1 where I take a look at the minifigures if you guys haven't, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye!